picking up the mid-range hunter.
Did we get the bands?
We did not get the bands, but
That's alright.
yeah. We
You know
will.
what? I suspect Real Terror must have banned it.
Yeah, and our XX2Xs could ban the aggro shaman, like usual. Like shaman is such a consistent class, right? Such a powerful class.
Sometimes you just ban Shaman because it's Shaman.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just put Shaman in your lineup because it's Shaman.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why it seems a little bit out of place for Real Terror. We are going to see the coin out on the Fiery Bat, giving him a little bit of tempo towards whatever RXX plays on his turn 2. This is happening.
Yeah, this is really nice too because since he's playing on the Warriors, he can also follow with the Doomsayer if he really needs to. So definitely, it's not a waste of like using a coin or not.
And the hero power against Hunter is always going to be useful. Your health total is constantly moving up and down. You want to edge it above.
Yeah, definitely. So during the Hunter right now, he only has 2 mana right now. He just actually decided to hero power. What do you think about that? I actually thought of developing the freezing trap instead.
So what's going to happen is next turn, you don't really have a play next turn either. You have nothing that you can expect them to deadly shot. So you're really just waiting. You can play freezing trap this turn, you're just removing options.
I see.
So delaying from playing the freezing trap this turn means that next turn you can either hero power or freezing trap depending on where your opponent plays.
Gain the most out of the hero power.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely. So I see he does it again since he doesn't really have a turn 4 play as well.
And now he can even freezing trap plus hero power, and that's an additional 6 damage that he's just gained from this.
Yeah.
Just tapping the button, right?
Just tapping it.
Shooting the bow.
Yeah, just shooting at the bow.
Yeah.
Ooh, so the Acolyte is being played right now. So
Like the freezing.
freezing definitely counters it. It does starve like the warrior quite a bit. Like you don't really want it to draw into the reactive cards because, in my opinion, mid-range hunter does fall out of steam like fairly quickly. Like depending on how much threats is on the board or how much aggressive pushes are overextended.
But threats on the board, it does run out of steam. But I'm looking at Ram Wrangler right here.
Yeah.
That's not a card I see often.
Yeah.
That card has so much RNG in it.
Yeah.
You can either get the Jeweled Scarab or you can get the King Crush.
Yeah, the King Crush.
To just come in and charge.
It's a huge range. Like even for mid-range hunter, I see a lot of people play it, and sometimes a lot of people don't play it as well. They usually substitute it with cards like Kodo or Tiger. Like there's a lot of that's like actually a pretty huge flex spot in their Divine Mana drops. Yeah. Depending on personal preference. I personally like the Ram
a little bit more RNG in your deck.
I like a little spice to my decks.
When you get that win with Gazrilla, it's the best feeling in the world, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, Real Terror dropping this Doomsayer here, looking to drop Thorazan next turn to reduce his hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of a preemptive thing here. Maybe RXX will see that. Hunter's Mark can unleash, but he seems to just be passing with the hero power. He doesn't really want to drop the Savannah and give up all that value.
Playing the Doomsayer is actually a pretty heads-up play too, because he did play it on 6 mana curve. Like it does prevent Savannah Jaime, which we do see. So he is delaying a turn from Savannah Jaime, and it allows him to set up for a future, like for a better turn.
It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone in this scenario. You get to play a free, uncontested Thorazan and deny your opponent's best minion.
Yeah, empty board.
It's great.
And once you have 0 cause shield slams, that's quite good.
And he has to 2 for 1. It's perfect here. That Hunter's Mark is actually... that's a card that's very, very useful in this matchup. And using it on a 5/5 that could have been killed by a kill command, or something like kill command, or a minion plus a quick shot, or a weapon. Using that Hunter's Mark that could get so much more value, I think is going to put RXX a little bit behind in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I don't see a lot of people running the Hunter's Mark either. That's also a flex pick too. Like some people actually prefer the Deadly Shot, just because you don't really have to waste a minion. You can just do it on one package.
We did see one Deadly Shot.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But maybe he has 1 and 1, mixing it up a little bit. I do like the Unleash here, kind of cleaning up a little bit. Oh, is he gonna Ram Wrangler?
Oh, I like it. I like it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Drum roll.
Okay.
King Crush.
Okay.
That's still good.
Yeah, carry on my way.
That's what I was gonna say. Carry on my way with drop. That's pretty good too. Like playing that Unleash the Hound, you can also pop the Divine Shield. So Real Terror doesn't get that much efficient trades because you don't really want the Warrior getting those kind of trades.
And Carrion Grub does trade fantastically into the Cthulhu's Chosen.
Yeah, definitely. And then we do see the War Axe coming down. I assume like the War Axe is gonna hit the Ram Wrangler and potentially use the Fortitude to go to face. Like force the Rock to actually trade onto the Cthulhu's Chosen, I believe it's called.
Exactly.
I actually decided to play the Acolyte here. Yeah, like, I would actually personally play the Acolyte here. You do need more card draw. Like, you're looking at your hand.
You
Like,
play the 4-mana one, right? Or do you play both?
I actually like to play the more expensive one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it allows you to have a little bit more flexibility for 2-mana in future turns. Right?
And again, armoring up every turn to try and deny. Oh, wow. This is a really interesting play.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. It does clear the board.
Yeah, it does clear the board, but he is going to leave himself a little bit vulnerable to the Savannah Highmane coming in. He knows that he prevented it on turn 6, but it's going to come down as soon as possible, and that's one of the cards Control Warrior has a really hard time dealing with. Sylvanas Shield Slam being one of the ways.
Yeah, just because it's just so sticky. Like it just it just denies like all the single target removals that the warrior actually has.
It's a 6-mana 10-9.
I know, right?
That dies, survives
so much
brawl.
value. So much value.
How does a Control Warrior deal with it?
You know, I'm so surprised. Like mid-range hunter nowadays, like they run so many death rattles, but they don't run the Princess Futuran.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like we saw her like initially in the early season, like early in the like Whispers of God expansion. Like we see a lot of like hunters playing that card, but eventually it fell out of favor. I was quite surprised just because the mana cost for that card, the stats are actually quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 5-mana 6/5.
Yeah, 6/5.
Activate a target friendly minion's death rattle.
Yeah.
So you can put that on a Sylvanas, a Cairn, again a Savannah Highmane, or even just Infestival on curve.
Yeah.
Infestival.
Exactly.
And then it's a 5-mana 8/7. Twin Emperor backcourt, the golden one,
golden
glowing purple.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Real Terror, that is going to get hurt really badly by the Savannah Highmane, as 6/5 plus 4/6 equals,
Yeah. Although they do
Unhappy
look,
Real Terror.
although they look pretty good taunts, but they are actually going to get countered with Savannah. But we do see Call of the Hunt. Is it Call of the Hunt?
Call of the Wild.
Well, Call of the Wild. Right.
Call of the Wild is
Yeah,
one of the
right,
best pickups that RXX could have gotten here, as it's just, think of Control Warrior. You want each of your cards to deal 2 of their cards. That's kind of the whole thing in the deck. Call of the Wild is 3 cards in 1.
Yeah, it's just 3 cards in 1. And especially when the Real Terror is running out of steam right now, generally 3 creatures with just 1 card is actually a lot of value, and it's really hard for the Real Terror to actually deal with.
The one thing I'm guessing about what RXX is trying to play around here is Brawl.
Yeah.
He could be seeing a second Brawl, and he does not want his minions to die that quickly. So getting the second Savannah Highmane in play is just going to give that extra insurance. Obviously, we know that he doesn't have the Brawl, but 2 cards in hand, it's possible.
Yeah, it's
right?
definitely possible. There's a card that Real Terror hasn't been playing yet, like that Shield Slam. It's been holding for like many turns. Like possibly if RXX2XX was paying attention to the cards, like the card positioning in his hand, that definitely could be a Brawl.
Definitely. And same with the Doom Caller there. It got reduced.
Yeah.
So these are cards that you can play with other cards, and RXX has to be a little bit scared.
Definitely.
But not playing that Call of the Wild there and just definitely getting those sticky minions on board is some of the next level plays that you see from these good players. These great players looking into the future.
Yeah. I see Real Terror actually deciding to trade into the Festive Wolf just so he can generate card draws with the Acolyte with the 2 1/1 tokens. That's actually pretty good. That just generates like 2 draws.
That's very good, yeah.
So we're gonna see what he draws that he can actually counter this board with. So he picked up the Ravaging Pool. That's so good. It actually generates a lot more card draws.
Wow.
Can potentially even pick up an Execute to actually deal with.
So here, personally, I definitely like shield blocking, shield slamming the 5, and then doing it. Because then you're just getting 4 2/2s on board.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with things for the Brawl. All the death rattle's gone, and you can just, for instance, now he would have 2 1/1s.
True. Yeah.
So it's just a little bit of, it would have been 2 2/2s, 2 2/1s, but that's, these are hard-stakes matches. Sometimes you make little mistakes.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. But overall, he did get rid of the death rattle, so when he does have a Brawl in hand, so the Brawl is going to be a lot easier to play for him without any hesitation.
Are we going to see Call of the Wild here?
I would personally like Call of the Wild here, just because it does trade into most of the things on the board. Like previous turn, you couldn't really play because with the Huffer with 5 attack, it didn't really trade into anything efficiently. Like even if you trade into taunt, it's still alive. And this turn does seem a little better. But what do you think about that?
I'm still worried as RXX. Where's the brawl? He has 2 more draws.
Yeah.
Real Terror has 2 more draws in play to draw this brawl. I'm going to lose the game if I get brawled here.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe you have to just hope he doesn't have it and go face, or you just you could stay back a little bit. But personally, I like doing the Call of the Wild as well. Just getting a lot more pressure on the board, going face with all this damage, you know, that's what hunters do best.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely he can't really trade here. He is going to run out of steam against the Control Warriors, because definitely the Control Warriors late game is definitely a lot more better than the Hunters, right? So you definitely have to push some damage here.
The second brawl pickup is just gonna...
Disgusting.
Shield block, armor up. Real Terror actually, his health is not that high.
Yeah.
This is definitely still a game for RXX, as you could play a second Call of the Wild, which is more value. Even though with 2 brawls, that's 5 guaranteed damage plus the hero power, that's 7. You're only gaining 2 health per turn. Unless that brand sees another Ancient Shield Bearer, I'd say this is pretty even right now.
Yeah,
maybe a little edge versus with Real Terror, just because the cards of
Yeah, it's definitely Real Terror's health is pretty low right now, but he does have a lot of comeback, like mechanisms that he has in his hands. Right now he's just going to consistently draw. I know we do see.
Justicar Trueheart. Justicar is going to upgrade Real Terror's hero power from being the scrawny little armor up to the manly giant tank up, which doubles the amount of health you gain per turn. And completely counteracts and reverses the Hunter hero power. Not only does it, you have to pay 2 mana to make it so I'm not gaining 4 every turn and falling so far ahead, but I'm still going to gain 2. No matter what you do, I'm gaining health. We do see a Sylvanas in the fire, but it's unfortunate that RXX doesn't get to...
He definitely needed that just to win too, because he is running out of steam. I don't see him putting that big of a pressure on board.
I think he was really hoping for a Houndmaster there.
Yeah, definitely.
Houndmaster definitely would have filled out his card. It would have been a great card to push a little bit extra damage. And it's kind of hard. It makes all your minions a little bit hard to remove for this Control Warrior. We see the Cthulhu top tech, the 12-12,
let's go.
Machine gun himself. Could we maybe, even when this dies, you're going to put 2, you might even just put 2 of them back in your deck. Wow.
I actually love that. I love that combo. Just like if Cthulhu dies.
Oh. Kill command is not what you want to see.
That's not what you see. Lethal is close, but there's no piece on board.
But Real Terror still doesn't have lethal either. So here, I think you kill command face, you hit face with your weapon, you hero power, you smork, you pray to the smork gods.
You pray just the card doesn't come out.
You pray he doesn't have Ancient Shield Bearer, he doesn't have just a card. You just really want to draw your second Call of the Wild next turn, hoping that, he doesn't play the kill command. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting too. I find it a little bit weird just because he is on a loss. You do see a 12-12.
You're losing next turn.
Exactly.
What are you drawing to win the game? Maybe a deadly shot. Maybe that's what he was on.
Or maybe he just wants to make rally off the kill command. Just because he doesn't see the discard flip. Ooh, we do see the King's Ally.
Can he survive another turn with this King's Ally?
If he...
that was close! That would have been a random chance effect into another random effect. So close game.
Oh man. If the King
game
Crush
1 is going to go to Real Terror.
Very
well played by both guys.
Very, very well played. So we've been saying that RXX2X did gain the kind of like the win against Real Terror, but Real Terror is actually coming back with like a bit of competition. Early start.
And as we expect that he did ban Priest this time. I don't know that.
Do we know that?
We don't.
We don't. Okay.
So we'll have to predict from what happens in the next couple games.
I would like to see the Priest ban because the Real Terror, that was like sort of like the Real Terror's bane.
It was such a surprise to him.
Yeah, it was such a surprise.
It was like, oh, you know what? I could deal with this Priest. Is probably just like, what's Priest gonna do? They're gonna heal themselves. Oh, it's fine. And then you see N'Zoth come down, death rattle after death rattle after death rattle.
That was a lot of death rattles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said at least 3 there.
Exactly. No, there was not 3. There was a whole board full.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Oh, man. Not
You
even
have
Brock
6
can
death
help
rattles
him.
in a 5/7. And then your death rattles buff your 5/7, and then you steal things. It's a crazy deck. Definitely, N'Zoth is one of the most powerful gods.
Mm-hmm. I guess like now that I think about it, like there's actually a certain debate like between Control Warrior versus the Control Priest, like more like the N'Zoth Priest, right? Like people debate like either the Control Warrior wins or the Control Priest wins. But now that I think about it, Control Priest can manipulate it in a certain way that can actually beat Control Warrior just because of it entombs, eating those big value minions in the end, like Cthulhu, Doom Callers, etc. Like all those strong minions that you can counteract Control Warrior, having them a hard time to actually counteract those cards that they stole from them.
Exactly. Yeah. Entombing the Cthulhu is such a big swing in that matchup because not only do you remove one Cthulhu, you possibly remove 2 additional Cthulhus from your opponent's deck. And if you get a Doom Caller, you're adding 2 to your deck.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is machine guns for you, and you're just taking away all the firepower of your opponent. We're seeing our second game here.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
RXX is queuing up the Hunter again versus Real Terror's Warlock, which is a Reno lock.
Reno lock. Yeah, we saw that before.
These Ram Wranglers making me feel good.
Yep. Double Ram Wrangler. That's actually quite interesting. Like I don't see a lot of people playing double Ram Wrangler. One is because it's really RNG based.
Exactly.
Yeah, not too many people like that kind of thing. So they rather run more consistent creatures like Kodo and Stranglethorn Tiger.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The Fiery Bat here, a lot of people are running no Fiery Bats and running Doomsayers. Personally, I like the Fiery Bat. I think that card's very good versus Zoo, very good versus Shaman. And, you know, everybody's saying that, oh, well, Doomsayers are as well.
Yeah.
Well, Fiery Bat's also good versus Control.
Yeah.
Applying that early game pressure to just kind of, you know, get those extra points of damage in. For instance, you know, it's kind of like, it's a beast leopard note here.
Yeah.
It just kind of hits face for.
Do you know one card that they sort of substitute the Fire Bat with?
No.
It's on the Hunter.
Interesting.
I see a lot of people do that. It kind of does the same thing, but there's like you more control the RNG a little bit more. It does provide you a beast, which is 1/1, which is not as strong as the Fiery Bat, but it does deal that. Yeah, it does guarantee that 1 damage wherever you want it to be, right? So it sort of does the same thing, but I'm still not too sold on it. Like, definitely need to try it out.
Yeah. I think it would probably be better on the coin.
Yeah.
As you can react to what your opponent's doing and maybe shoot down an abusive sergeant. That would have been good there.
Yeah, definitely. We do see a kill command on the brand.
In this matchup, the Hunter does really want to keep a lot of its burn in hand because Reno has Reno.
Yeah, has Reno.
So you want to be able to kill him from as high health total as possible. So it must hurt a little bit to use that kill command on the brand. Then again, Bran is one of the scariest cards that has come out in the last year.
Yeah, definitely. The swing that card can provide is actually pretty sick.
Some people, I would say that it's scarier than Cthulhu.
Yeah. Well, it can make Cthulhu be a
double
Cthulhu, like a monster, like more than a monster than it actually is.
Or it can make a Twilight Drake a 4/13.
Yeah.
Which would just be terrible for RXX here.
Oh man,
are we going to see the Ram
Wrangler coming down?
We could also see the coin out Savannah High.
Yeah, I like that a little bit more, but I'm actually very tempted to see him actually play the Ram Wrangler here. Exactly. A little bit of RNG actually entices me a little bit, so let's go. Ram Wrangler.
We just hope.
Yeah.
We hope so much that he gets the King Crush.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, let's go.
RXX builds this deck hoping for the King Crush. Will we see it? Argent Horse Rider. Okay.
That's still pretty good. It does trade fairly well with the Twilight Drake, as long as the Leon doesn't die.
Real Terror does kind of have the perfect answer here with the Hellfire.
Yeah, we do see
killing a 4/3 and a 6/3 and the 2/4, clearing his board. He's going to have a 4/1 in response to this. But the Savannah High main, you know, might prove a little bit of a problem for Real Terror.
Definitely. And we do see that our XS2 SXEs did save the coin. That's probably for the Call of the Wild that they can play on turn 7, which can apply like a bit more pressure against Real Terror. Even if he decides to Hellfire here, he could potentially just play that on turn 8 and refill its board.
Real Terror is so happy to see all 3 of his board clears in hand. You have the Twisting Nether, destroy everything with no drawbacks. You have the Shadow Flame, which just destroys the whole board.
Definitely. So we do see Eagle Horn Bow pick up here. He might potentially use it to remove it, just so in the future turns he can have the Savannah High Main uncontested. What do you think about that?
I think coming up on a turn 7, this isn't a Cthulhu. This isn't a Cthulhu Reno lock, so I think just dropping the Savannah High Main, you're not worried about anything on 7, not Vectors, not anything like that. So I think it's kind of nice to just drop the Savannah High Main here.
Yeah, it definitely creates like a stronger type of board. You do have to coin for turn 8, and if you do Eagle Horn Bow right now, like instead of playing Savannah High Main, you do have a pretty weak board. You're allowing Rio Terror to set up for like even an empty board kind of Emperors, and like you're open to those kind of threats.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we do see the Savannah, no, I mean...
Sylvanas High Main. Maybe he can kill it somehow and steal it.
It's a tongue twister. They sound very, very similar. Very similar. Yeah.
Savannah Windrunner.
Yeah, Savannah Windrunner. So we do see it being played, coming down to play. It can be comboed with Shadow Flame in the following
did
turn
we
as well.
miss the Reno?
Reno.
Real Terror top deck Reno last turn. I think I see him in the corner there.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
We do see the Reno.
The Reno Jackson is just going to be such a great card.
Yeah.
That's what the deck's built around.
Yeah.
It's just going to... It's when you have double your health total, you can play whatever you want.
Yeah. I forgot to say also, it's like I've been discussing like how Midrange Hunter always runs out of steam. There's a chance that Midrange Hunter usually like could beat the Reno lock, but when they draw the Reno Jackson, it's actually pretty good against this matchup, and potentially you can actually win off just Reno Jackson alone most of the time.
So there's a very strong 50-50 you could take here. Dropping the Reno, well, tapping first, obviously.
Yeah.
Dropping the Reno Jackson, trading the Twilight Drake into the 5-4, and then trading the Sylvanas into the 5-2. I think we're going to see it.
We're going to see it.
We're going to see the Sylvanas High Main.
It's Sylvanas High Main. Oh, we don't see it. But we do see the Reno Jackson. Yeah, coming
from
down.
3 to 30, adding a 0 to your health total. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We do see that extra tap squeezing in as well, so that's actually pretty good for Real Terror. Getting as much value as he can.
Wow. This Hunter's Mark might even come down on the Reno Jackson here. What other threats does he have?
Yeah.
We see the Ragnaros, that's often played, and Thorazan is also often played.
I definitely like the Unleash the Hound with Eagle Horn Bow. It does remove the Leok and allows the Savannah High Main to trade efficiently into the Reno Jackson. So you don't really lose much.
And you
on
keep a
board.
6-1.
Exactly, you keep a 6-1. You still force the Real Terror to actually deal with it.
So this Savannah High Main in hand is, again, Real Terror only has 1 Spellbreaker, so 4 mana destroy 2/2/2s is very strong, but having 2 Savannah High Mains is going to be, it might be too much for Real Terror to deal with.
I definitely like also playing another Savannah High Main. You do of course like a lot of resources that Real Terror actually has, as you said, but
And he is doing your play.
yeah, definitely playing Unleash the Hound. I guess like interesting. That is interesting. So he wants to keep his Savannah High Main healthier, so it's harder to remove.
And he's not killing the Leon. He's going straight to the face.
Wow.
He says, how am I going to win this game? My opponent has already played Reno.
Yeah.
I need to start hitting him in the face.
That
my
is
hero
true.
power is
That's
going
true.
to be my saving grace here. You know, Call of the Wild. It's gonna bring me back into this game.
Yeah. Previously, we know that Reno Lock, like before Standard, it has a lot of sustain, but a lot of those sustain are now removed in Standard. So definitely going face is actually a very good move right here, just because you can actually dish out a lot of damage in the Hunter's point of view, and they might not even have enough sustain to actually counteract that damage.
And with only 2, excluding Reno, only 2 Battlecry heals, being the Earthen Ring Farseer and the
Refreshment Vendor.
Oh, Refreshment Vendor as well, and
Apothecary.
yeah, Cult Apothecary.
Yeah.
It was just on the tip of my tongue there.
Yeah.
So 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them.
That I don't know if you can fit them all in the deck.
Yeah, depending on the curve that you have, you might fit like 2 of those cards, like over the 3. But definitely, I don't feel like fitting 3 of them is exactly like that good.
This is why you see some of the great value of Acidic Swamp Ooze, where you can just deny that 3 damage, and that's like an Earthen Ring right there. An Earthen Ring that might even save a minion.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good.
Yeah. there's certain people that like wonder why Harrison is not played in Warlock, right? Like there's a certain debate like why play Ooze where you can play with Harrison. You have a hero power, and you might even go into fatigue with the Harrison as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
You might not want to draw.
Yeah, exactly.
You often even have a full hand.
Yeah.
Full hand of cards is like that's what Handlock did. And now Reno Handlock, which is kind of what this deck originated as, does kind of the same thing.
Considering the last play that the RX's 2X's did, I thought he would be actually more aggressive this turn, but he's actually clearing the board for his amount of high main to actually be uncontested and potentially dish out like around like 18 points of damage for the next 3 turns, potentially.
He can clear board here with the Spellbreaker, Shadow Flame, Mortal Coil. That's going to clear board. That's going to make it so the Savannah Hamian gets no value. He is going to see the Emperor Thor's engine and the Sen'jin Shield Master.
That's nice. That's
to try and mitigate some of the damage, but also maybe he wants to fit like 3 of these cards in hand at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, playing the Shield Master, like Real Terror knows that RX's 2XX can't really handle it quite efficiently, so pretty much the Emperor Tourism is technically uncontested, which brings a lot of value to Real Terror. You can potentially even combo down RX's 2X's if he actually runs the combo pieces, which I'm not 200% sure that he does.
Oh, he throws everything out there, leaving himself completely open to the other 2 board clears that are in the deck. I think maybe Demon Wrath. I don't know if many people are playing it again.
Yeah, Demon Wrath is definitely one of the cards.
It would
actually be
so
pretty good here. Yeah, especially,
But and the Shadow Flame. Wow. And he does the Shadow Flame here instead of the Twisting Nether because he gets to draw a card off of Mortal Coil, which also gets reduced. And he doesn't have to destroy his Thorazan.
Yeah. The Thorazan is definitely going to gain a lot of value. But I think like our XX2 is pretty much going to ignore leverage on the board. And when you see a Deadly Shot be picked up, which is not something that you want. You definitely want a minion to actually dish out some damage because you're running off.
It can rewind the clock a little bit. And it misses the Thorazan. RXX is definitely sad to see that.
Is that a Ragnaros that I see with 6 mana?
Wow. Are you going to tap too? Just to add insult to injury? Why would you?
Yeah, why would you?
You're winning this game at this point.
Playing it safe because he didn't really want to lose to RX's 2X's once again.
The Freezing Trap. Yeah. That's not going to help him out too much this turn, and I think we're going to see the second game of this series. An early victory to this Real Terror.
Yeah,
he is a Real Terror.
He is a Real Terror.
Especially for RXX. Kind of a reverse of what's happening in the previous matchup between these two.
Definitely. Let's hope Real Terror can actually finish this series and not get sweep so that he can have another chance against RX's 2 and 6 in the double limb kind of bracket that we have.
It's going to be a best of 3.
Yeah, best of 3.
Oh my god. He's just wading through this.
Yep. 3 more times. 3 more times.
Well, actually, if he wins this one, then he has to beat him nothing. So he's got to win 4.
Wow.
That's a lot of times.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And we seem to be waiting for these guys to just kind of choose their decks. There is a lot. They're thinking of a lot right now.
Yeah, definitely.
What do I want to queue up? Obviously, Real Terror is just thinking about how he's going to play his matchups. Again, we do not know the ban.
Yeah, we do not know.
So whatever he plays, then we can figure out the ban. But we're kind of left guessing here. We're thinking that the Shaman was banned.
The Shaman was banned.
So then we're going to see the Miracle Rogue come out
Miracle
from Real Terror. And then we're thinking the N'Zoth Priest was banned. So maybe against Miracle Rogue, you want to just get the mid-range Hunter out there. So that's going to get an easy win versus the Miracle Rogue.
Yeah.
But he's going to play his Cthulhu Warrior versus Miracle Rogue.
So
this is quite debated.
Yeah, this is quite debated as well because previously any type of rogue, like even before Standard or Rogue, did fairly poorly against the Control Warrior. Like they had a really low percentage of winning. But now that we see Miracle Rogue, the power of Conceal and being able to, like, if they can't handle the board.
Sometimes that's one mana to deal 15 damage.
Yeah, exactly. If they can't deal with the board, all those cold bloods, all those pump ups that the rogue can dish out, especially with Zarya the Poison Mines, there's a lot of huge potential damage.
You might get 3 attacks off a Cold Blood, whereas before you only get that single burst of Leroy Cold Blood, and that's only 4. 12 damage is almost always enough if you have 3 of them to get through all of the Control Warriors.
Definitely, it all comes down to if the warrior draws Brawl or not when there's full board being concealed, just so it can negate that damage that the rogue has on board.
Personally, when I see a Cthulhu Warrior and I'm playing Cthulhu Warrior against a rogue, I say I win this game when I get Bran Ancient Shield Bearer.
True.
I feel like 50 health is just, it's a little bit on the cusp of what rogue can deal with.
Beat them the old style way, like
We're seeing the Ravaging Ghoul get dropped down here. I'm pretty sure that Real Terror does have one Violet Teacher, and maybe saving it would have been better, but sometimes the tempo of this card is just going to eat through the rogue's health and even trade with one of their bigger minions with the help of the Disciple Cthulhu. Kind of a preemptive play there.
Yeah, definitely. Like usually Miracle Rogue, they don't really do anything between turns 1 to 3, especially playing down this 3/3. Real Terry really needs to remove it, or he can either remove it or play a creature, but he'll be skipping his turn 3 or 4 with the coin.
And if he's going to hit into it,
Yeah.
and he just passes, that's going to be 9 damage for 3 mana. That's almost a Pyroblast right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, Control Warrior does take control of games, and they try and go to the late game. But if you have an early lead on their health, you can kill them with minions.
Yeah.
It's not something that's unseen. With that Harrison Jones, we're going to be able to see removal of weapon into Emperor Thorazan, into maybe some crazy combos with Bran, which is the whole goal of this Emperor Thorazan warrior deck.
Yeah. And we do see Real Terror just staggering up, hitting in the face, and just passing. It's really a huge debate, just because Rogue really always want a minion to stick in some sort of way and just consistently remove minions so they can gain a huge tempo swing and potentially beat your opponent with just conceal and huge burst damage. Right?
It's so interesting how the tables have turned for Rogue. Oil Rogue, you would never play more than 2 minions against an Oil Rogue. That Blade Flurry is so scary. But now, the whole goal is to flub the board against Rogue. Fan of Knives usually can't kill your 3 health minions.
Definitely.
Maybe with a backstab like he's doing now, but Fan of Knives, it's not going to kill a lot of your bigger minions. You just want to spam everything out there.
We do see Real Terror removing the board by the Vicious. Oh, unfortunately missing off that 1 damage. We do see a possibility of Harrison actually coming down.
Getting a little bit of value, and also trading into the 3/3, getting a 2/1 attacking, and that's something Real Terror will have to deal with next turn.
I definitely like playing the Harrison here. It does forces the Rogue to actually hero power again, so essentially they're using only 3 mana in the following turn, which is not too big of a turn. And you're allowed to clear the board quite well with the Fire War access to the SI too, so you're establishing quite a solid board at the same time.
And the Harrison is going to be very difficult for the Rogue to deal with. He's going to have to use an Eviscerate, which is very, very crucial in defeating the Control Warrior. Killing cards like Bran behind some taunts is often very hard, and Eviscerate is something that RXX is going to be scared of in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So, eyeing his turn right now, deciding what to do.
It's Cthulhu Face.
Ooh, interesting, Cthulhu Face.
You know why he's doing this?
Why?
He wants to gain as much armor as possible.
Just with the hero power alone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely that's one of the ways to actually beat Rogue, because Rogue only has just so much damage, right?
Wow. He could just Fan of Knives here, or he could coin Gadgets and prep Fan of Knives.
I actually like to prep Fan of Knives, although most people don't agree because it's sort of like a gamble. You do draw like total of 3 cards because you do have coin. You can also potentially draw into that concealed. Not sure if he has it in his hand, but I do see a 1 mana card. But that could also be Cold Blood.
It's a Cold Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the Cold Blood plus Leroy combo, so as soon as you get a Conceal, 1 mana Pyroblast again.
Yeah.
If your opponent doesn't have the Boom or the Brawl, it's definitely going to deal a lot of damage. So you're seeing a lot of fuel in Real Terror's hand, but not really a lot of the refueling mechanics. The gadget Zans are, but you don't have the conceal for them, so you're kind of scared of playing them.
Definitely.
I really like the Emperor Thorazan here.
Definitely. You always want to play Emperor Thorazan on an empty board. I definitely like that, so definitely one of the better plays. Like, you could possibly just play the Airson or even Shield Block to draw even more cards, but definitely the Emperor is eventually.
And this is almost the worst thing that can happen for Real Terror. How are you dealing with it? Are you sapping it? Are you auctioneer prep sapping it?
I don't think sapping it is actually quite good on the Emperor.
Because he's gonna get the value again.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have 2 ticks of Emperor, essentially, that's mainly what you want.
Exactly. When you can see multiple of these cards, of these Emperor ticks, go off on shield bearers and brands, you get to you can gain 40 armor in a turn.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is just the goal of Control. You really hope.
Yeah.
To just you want to create despair in the heart of your opponent. You know, how am I going to defeat this mammoth of armor and health?
Not even armor alone. There's a lot of disgusting combos that when Emperor comes out, like with Brand, like even do with the Doom Caller when the Cthulhu dies off, and having 2 Cthulhus in your deck. I've seen that done so many times that it's actually really disgusting.
There's a lot of value. We see the second Ancient Shield there.
Oh man. You can even follow. Ooh. Actually.
You could shield block here to try and kill that Gadget Zap. It might be very important.
Yes.
I think you might just drop the Ancient Shield there here. Even though there's a lot of cards you can draw to kill that Gadget Zap, gaining that 10 health and having that 6/6 on board that he has to eviscerate, he has to use a second. Actually, he doesn't have a second one.
No. Especially when Auctioneer is such a huge threat, right? This is potentially looking down at 10 plus damage because of the Auctioneer. The amount of threats that you can draw with that card. So you might as well just gain as much armor as possible just to avoid that lethal kind of damage.
Exactly. Yeah. And something I've noticed about Cthulhu Warrior, it's almost like a Reno deck. As Reno has sometimes around 55 health when you come back. This deck guaranteed has about 50 health with the 2 Ancient Shield Bearers. You have 60 with the shield blocks, and you have more than that with just the hero powers. So it's often proving such a struggle for a lot of these decks that win through, burst face damage.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you can go over 30.
Exactly.
So it does actually does well, like I guess certain matchup like a Freeze Mage that the Reno Warlock suffers against.
But on the reverse, Freeze Mage versus Control Warrior, we all know how that plays out.
And we do see the Auctioneer getting a lot of value. We do see the Conceal coming down.
Wow.
Ooh,
the backstabbing
too. He prepped the backstab.
Oh my god. He avoids Conceal. That's crazy.
That was a pretty huge misplay.
we see a look of despair on Real Terror's face.
Yeah, we do see.
As he's realizing that he just killed his own Gadget Zan Auctioneer. He says, oh, maybe, you know what, I'm going to take this extra draw. And then forgets that he has the prep. Wow.
And Real Terror also has 10 cards in the set too, so he will be overdrawing the following turn.
The Disciple. Bran Bronzebeard plus Ancient Shield Bearer is gonna put RXX straight out of range of Real Terror.
Yeah, definitely.
And getting to kill this Gadget Zan for 3 mana, plus buffing your Cthulhu, that can't feel too bad.
Definitely not.
Ooh,
interesting, but he decides to play it now. Is he because he's afraid of lethal damage? But looking at his health pool, Conceal.
The second Conceal milled.
That's just one of his Real Terror's win condition, just because he can build up a board and just conceal and just wait up the following turn and to use those minions on board to actually take down, beat down the warriors of armor and eventually just win the game.
RXX, I think what he wants to do here is he's saving the Bran for the Cthulhu's Chosen plus the Disciple of Cthulhu, 9 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion, give your Cthulhu +8/+8, and then win next turn whenever you play Cthulhu.
Yeah.
The other play, you have a 6/6 on board. Your opponent's at 14.
Yeah.
Maybe just not giving them enough time to rebuild is exactly what RXX wants to do.
And this is definitely not a target that you really want to sap, which we do see a lot in Real Terror's hand, like 2 saps are being...
There's no
yeah,
resistance.
Yeah, and there's no resistance as well.
What do we see on the end there? I can't quite see it. 2 mana. It might be an Abyss.
I think it's Blood Mage Paladin.
Oh, I see the dragon at the top. I do think it's Blood Mage Paladin as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, we do see the Conceal coming down. Potentially using it to beat down the Control Warrior.
Whoa!
Oh, we're gonna be seeing 3 times.
But he doesn't No! Does he save it?
Oh.
No, I think he has to play the taunts,
Yeah.
armor up, go
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Whenever the broadcast on board, it definitely represents a lot of damage. Definitely playing it safe, putting down the taunt.
We can see the double sap in hand, though.
Yeah, we do.
But we both know that
Yeah.
sapping the Twin Emperor is just going to make more.
Yeah, it's just gonna make it worse.
You know, cutting off the head of the Hydra is just
Yeah.
going to make more of
Yeah,
them, right?
yeah. What I would like to do is just trade into the one that actually spawns a taunt and just
Sap
sap the
the other
other.
one.
Yeah, just definitely sap
And maybe
the other
go face for 7.
Yeah.
Try so hard
Yeah.
to just get some damage in. You know, your opponent is at 43 health. How are you dealing with this as Rogue?
Yeah. Especially when we see the Auctioneer coming down, we definitely will be seeing a sap. So I believe Real Terror is fully aware that the RXX 2XX is playing Brand. So definitely trading into that taunt. Yeah.
Even if he didn't have Bran, he would still get the second one, the twin.
Yeah, definitely.
We like to nickname them Velcro
Yeah,
and
Velcro.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Are the two twins.
I called it Velcos.
Yeah, the Velcos. Wow. So we can actually see a full board clear here. With Bran Bronzebeard, Disciple of Cthulhu, killing the Gadgetzan and execute on the Edwin Van Cleef. And why not? Drop a Cthulhu's Chosen in there and get that value off Bran when you can. Also, that's that card's kind of hard for Rogue to deal with right now.
Definitely. And you're so far ahead too, you could definitely play it slow. You don't necessarily need to overextend. You can conserve like cards like your taunts in hand.
I feel like he just wants to end this game.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah.
I want to go home, I just want to kill him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think I'd probably play Cthulhu's Chosen here.
Yeah.
Make the game a little bit quicker. It also makes it so, you know, you do have so much value in hand still. Your opponent is never going to hero power because, or if he does, you harass it and just win the game from there.
Definitely.
I think this game was won by RXX a while ago.
Yeah, definitely. There's a certain misplay that Real Terror did, and it did burn like a certain card that you kind of needed conceal. Maybe it's not too relevant, but it could have changed like the game quite a bit. Just because you can have a lot of you can stick on boards for that you win the game.
This guy's toast.
So we need to see the SI coming down here, taking out the 2-1. We do
Doom
see the
Caller.
2 caller. Oh man.
Cthulhu is not dead yet, though.
Yeah, it is not.
So it won't put the Cthulhu's back in the deck, but it would give it +4/+4, and it's a 7/9. You have seen both steps. How does a rogue deal with a 7/9 in this
Yeah,
situation,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, 7/8 creature is actually really hard for the rogue to
Is
deal
it a
with.
7/8?
It's a 7/8. I believe it's a 7/8. Or is it 7/6?
I think it's a 7/9.
7/9?
The Doom Caller there. Can't
Oh,
quite
that's
see-
even better. 7/9 is
Yeah.
even better.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's gonna be super difficult to deal with. Even that Vanilla Ice,
Yeah.
the twin there.
Yeah. Even the taunt alone. And we do see a Zerdrix coming down.
We don't
Ooh.
see a brawl.
Yeah, we don't.
And RXX actually doesn't have that much removal, even though his health total is so mammoth right now. If you can't remove your opponent's board, he's going to be hitting you for a lot every turn.
Yeah, definitely.
And that damage is going to build up. Maybe Real Terror doesn't get punished too much. I do like keeping... Oh, I thought he was trading that. I like keeping the Azure healthy there.
Yeah. Those are one of the win conditions I have at the moment, yeah.
They're dealing 4
Yeah.
per turn rather than 3 per turn.
Exactly.
Going face with both of those there, it's 2 extra damage, but the Harrison Jones,
Yeah. You know, taking a lot of value.
what a good guy.
Yeah, what a
Putting
good
things
guy.
back in museums where they deserve
yeah,
to be.
Yeah.
The Cthulhu's Chosen that could have been played a little bit ago. Or is that's a new one now, right?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. A 2020 Cthulhu. This is
2020.
huge.
When that card's being played, you know it's gonna wreak a lot of havoc, regardless of whatever the rogue actually has on board.
Well, he actually just loses the game whenever RXX draws Cthulhu. Real Terror has no cards in deck. I think that looks like about 5 to me, and then RXX looks to have maybe 10 or 12. Wow, this is an intimidating board.
Yeah, although Real Terror is low on health, that board actually represents a lot of damage. I'm not sure what other cards Real Terror actually
You know
has.
what? I like Beckoner of Evil plus Doomcaller.
I do like that as well.
You've seen almost all the removal from Real Terror. He's got nothing left in deck. How's he going to deal with all of this? Maybe he's just overthinking the Doomcaller. He says, you know, if Cthulhu dies, but whenever you draw a Cthulhu, you win the game anyways. Maybe Acolyte of Pain might be right here to try and get that extra draw to get the Cthulhu. But personally, I think that Doomcaller plus Beckoner of Evil, it's just going to make it so you can overwhelm the board, make your opponent trade so you're not taking that much damage. He's still above 30.
Yeah, I definitely like it too, is because you will be threatening lethal with that kind of board. So you are forcing Real Terror to actually trade into that kind of board, right?
Sylvanas, again, very strong card. It's going to kill 2 things. Again, the same thing that the Doomcaller would. But this way, when it attacks, it also kills 2 things. Almost like a double effect.
I'm out of cards.
Ooh, he is out of cards.
Wow. So Real Terror is just, I don't see a way out of this.
No, I can't.
You know, you have with what you have 20 damage right now, whenever you want it. Oh, the Cold Blood. Interesting.
Yep, the Cold Blood's coming down. So
I think he's trying to do, that's Sylvanas. He's trying to make it steal the 1/1 with all of his might. He's hoping. But again, we can see the Beckoner of Evil is just going to hit in, or if he plays the Leroy, one of the whelps can. When is it Leroy time? When is he going to play this Leroy, try and get some damage? Oh my god.
Picked up.
And there you go. You can just go face there, and you would take enough damage to kill him.
Yep. And RXX2XX
takes his first win in the series.
Yeah, he's not letting Real Terror sweep him up the finals of this tournament.
So maybe we're going to see the mid-range Hunter again. I'd like to see that off RXX, given that it's so favored versus Rogue.
Definitely.
Make this a 3-2 at least for me. You really want to have this as close as possible.
Yep. There could be a potential kind of sweep too, like reverse sweep from RX to TXX. That would be very devastating for Real Terror. Maybe Real Terror.
He's so close. He's been fighting his way through all of these ranks, through the losers bracket, through everything. And to be kicked out this close, but then again, RXX's lineup is very strong. The funny thing is, I don't think he's faced that many all aggro today. All aggro lineups.
No.
He's played mostly control, which is what he's good against. Which is very lucky for him. But
also, let's talk about Real Terror's sort of psychological state right now. Just because of that misplay, he might be a little bit tilted at the moment. So
we do see some heavy breathing, some hand in his hair.
Yeah, we see it in his eyes. We see it in his eyes.
Did he just keep everything?
Yeah, he definitely kept everything.
Wow.
That's a beautiful curve.
You get to coin it. Unless your opponent has double backstab, how do you get punished here?
Yeah, definitely.
Coin Alec, into Carrion Grub, or Animal Companion, or Eagle Horn Bow to kill a minion.
Yeah.
It's such a great spot.
Yeah. And then we do see a lot of rogues actually cutting one deadly poison just because they don't want to draw in their opening hand. So removing these early creatures might be difficult for them.
Unfortunately, he doesn't win the. Unfortunately for RXX, he doesn't win the joust.
Ooh, forcing in the Blizzard.
And then Real Terror is going to be pretty sad about this second King's Alec.
Yeah.
When your opponent coins out a 2, the only thing you can expect is another 2.
Oh, the high
main guaranteed on 6. Real Terror does have the 2 saps in hand, so he's probably feeling a little bit good about that.
Yeah.
He's saying, you know what? My opponent isn't going to play a 4-drop in Hero Power, and I have to sap that. Shadow Strike.
Interesting. Shadow Strike.
Wow.
Is 3-2.
He's not going to have any way of dealing with, I hope, this Animal Companion. We want to see the Huffer. We see the Misha, just as good.
Yeah, just as good. Just as good. It might possibly get sapped right here, but that sap looking pretty good. You do want to prevent as much damage as possible. This is one of the worst matchups for rogues, definitely. Just because you're always consistently using your weapons onto the minions, putting yourself low on life, and especially with the hero power of the hunter consistently doing damage, putting down you to a lower health. Cool.
So, if he got Hopper that turn, this would have been devastating.
Yeah.
This would have been completely devastating for Real Terror, so he's so thankful that he got the Misha. Infested Wolf is an interesting play here. Personally, I'd probably just drop the second Misha.
Yeah, I definitely just dropped the second.
More damage on board. What if your opponent? You're not mad if your opponent deadly poisons.
And it does trade into that Drake that's coming on turn 5 most of the time.
And it even trades into one of those. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
That's
wow! Everything.
What a top deck from RXX.
Yep. That definitely changes everything.
And he's gonna have no way of dealing with that.
Yep.
He's gonna eviscerate. He's running out of removal.
Yeah.
How is he going to deal with this Call of the Wild? Everything he has is just gonna overwhelm Real Terror. Maybe coming around for a reverse sweep. Not quite.
Not quite, but we do see it.
We can smell it.
Yeah, we can
smell it maybe happening.
Yeah.
You know, Real Terror might just, he might pull it through the 3-1, but this is very interesting.
The Phantom Knight is actually quite good here.
Going to be very strong here.
Yeah. We also do see the SI in hand, so you can potentially go SI. You can potentially just Phantom Knives, use Dagger, hit both the 1-1s, and use SI to remove the Houndmaster, which is potentially a pretty good work.
Personally, I like eviscerating the 4-3. And then you get to kill. Well, I guess you could kill the Houndmaster with the Phantom Knives. You don't need to use the Eviscerate. This play was probably better.
Yeah.
Maybe leaving a 1-1 up was fine. You do know your opponent's running not 1, but 2.
All right, Ram
of the Ram Wranglers.
Right.
So you do on turn 6. It's pretty scary.
Yeah. Sure.
Playing the Misha plus the Eagle Horn Bow is very smart here.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're not going to get punished by the sap again. If you just play the Savannah Hymen, and you get to kill your opponent's board.
Yeah. Ooh, we do see Real Terror being a little frustrated, scratching his head.
My opponent has everything. My opponent played cards, oh no!
Yeah. That's definitely a target that you don't really want to sap, and he's debating, he's probably debating in his mind if he should sap that or not, but sapping that really puts him vulnerable to, a lot of other threats.
He can't sap that.
Yeah.
He knows the Savannah's in hand because it was a Joust draw.
But he definitely has a Eviscerate to handle it as well, so it's actually not too bad, but he is running out of a lot of his single target removals and even burst damage actually with this matchup.
That kill command though. Wow.
We also can't see him actually dealing with the Desert Drake either, but I feel like putting...
He can carry
No, he can carry it. Yeah, carry my Wayward Grub.
My Wayward Grub.
Yeah, carry my Wayward Grub.
And then kill command it. Again, you're in such a commanding position. You might not need that extra burn. Just getting the board control here might be enough.
Yeah. I feel like it's not... You don't really need to save the kill command. The Roach job will actually do it for you.
I think that hit was completely wrong on RXX.
Yeah.
You know, he's hoping to maybe play the Eagle on both soon, but depending on what your opponent can play, especially this Violet Teacher here, that would have been perfect to double trade into it and play Call of the Wild, leaving your opponent defenseless. Yeah, most of the time you just want to keep moving the rogues forward, right? And the Eagle Hornboard definitely allows you to do that. And accompanied with the
it doesn't do much.
it doesn't do much. And definitely accompanied with the Carrion Grub, you definitely can remove a lot of type of creatures. And as
The
you
Wayward
said,
Grub.
Yeah, the Wayward Grub.
Oh man, I love that flavor text. It's so good.
I love saying that.
Yeah.
The Wayward Grub. But we do see the Deadly Shot coming out. Using the Eagle Horn Bow to trade 3/3. You can play your board here with Call of the Wild. Yeah. Oh, the
that too
will
as well.
buff the Carry On My Wayward Grub, killing the Earthen Ring Farseer and Huffer.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little bit angry with his Leon friend, giving him some some strength, and he's going to kill that Violet Teacher for a full board clear into a second Call of the Wild. RXX feels so good about this game right now.
Yeah, definitely. We do see him being very dominant, like in a very dominant type of position right now.
Again, Real Terror does not feel good about this.
Yeah.
RXX is just going through in his mind, does he need to go face? Does he need to trade? Hopefully he just trades.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, trading is pretty good. You have so much backup in your hand. You have another call of the Wild, and also some other hand.
Both eviscerates and one sap.
Yeah.
How's he going to deal with this board?
Yeah.
And the Azure Drake plus backstab is not going to do much. Maybe if he has a second Azure Drake plus second Phantom Knife plus backstab, maybe he can do something. Wow, that second sap comes down. He takes, he does Deadly Poison there. Takes some face damage to 3. The Leok is still going to be in play. That second Call of the Wild is going to come back down this turn and just push so much more damage.
We do see the freezing trap being picked up. That's got to help too, just for like certain minions that's going to be played. And
we can look at Real Terror's face.
Yeah.
He pouts a little bit, taking 9 to the face. What are these preps doing in his hand?
Ooh, we do see a Leroy coming up, but it's not going to be too relevant.
He doesn't prep concede.
Yeah.
That might have been the best play. Wow, this is one of the most exciting. One of the most exciting series we've seen today.
Definitely.
Going to 5 again.
Yep. Very, very close.
Crazy.
1 match difference.
This is going to be either the Zoc Priest or the Zoc Paladin. We still don't know which one he's playing versus the Miracle Rogue, which might just get reverse swept.
Yep. I'm confident that the Priest is being banned. I'm pretty sure that the Zoc Paladin actually coming out, because looking at Real Terror's sort of lineup, it doesn't actually do bad against the Zoc Paladin.
It can't feel good for Real Terror right now. It's we don't want to. But you know what? He can do it.
Yeah, he can definitely
still do it.
Yeah.
Miracle Rogue is one of those decks that can win versus anything, right?
Yeah, true. And it does abuse like certain very slow kind of matchups without any burst damage, like a grinder type of decks like Nizal, Paladin, Nizal, Priest. Like either of those two matchups is actually quite good against the Miracle Rogue.
Because sometimes you get that burst that they just can't deal with.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for Nizal Paladin, Nizal Priest to actually beat the Miracle Rogue, when Auctioneer is concealed, you can either remove it with like Organized Circle or either double Excavated Evil, Pyro Equality. Like you do need those kind of like conditional kind of answers to that kind of.
And those Nizal decks all have those 2 card combos that deal with a rogue's board.
Yeah. But it would be very unfortunate after you move it with that many resources, another Auctioneer comes out. So definitely there is kind of certain downfalls of actually going all in with that kind of play.
I think maybe that RXX is just taking a quick bathroom break.
Yeah.
Just waiting, making sure he doesn't have to go in the middle of the game. That would be terrible.
Yeah. It also allows Real Terror to reevaluate his kind of strategy too against the last deck that the RXX2X actually has.
As we can see, we actually see him here grabbing some water. That's very smart. Keeping hydrated.
Hydrate is good. Being hydrated is good. It helps work the brain.
Exactly.
Yep. Drink some water right now too.
Brain drink.
Yeah, it's good.
Almost the opposite of what about Katana.
True. True.
But then Real Terror is just sitting here, waiting. Oh my god.
So we are confident that RX2XX actually banned the aggro shaman.
Yes, I think so.
I feel confident he would ban actually.
Well, he did it because he's played. RXX did ban the aggro shaman because Real Terror has played the other 3 decks.
Oh, right, that's true. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
played other
Right,
decks.
right,
The
right,
only
right,
thing
now
we
that's
don't
good,
know
yeah.
about, I think. See, somebody mounts to me the word Paladin, but I don't know if that's the Paladin being banned or the Paladin being played. So, someone knows out there. I can't tell.
That is very interesting. The priest is not
we'll
banned.
find out now. The Paladin was banned. Wow.
Either or, they're very similar in terms of matchup. Like for
Definitely.
the Miracle Rogue.
Do you keep this Arcanine? Just trying to kill.
I personally would keep Octane because that's one of the win conditions. It would actually win against the Rogue. Like that's one of the only chances to actually win. So
It's a 4-mana board clear.
Yeah, it's definitely
it kills
a 4-mana board
everything
clear.
that that Real Terror can play.
We also see RX2XX actually running the Embrace to Shadows as well.
Wow, so he's going to have 3. 1 second. So he's going to have 3 activators for his Circle of Healing. That's going to be such a crazy. It'll increase your matchup against the Rogue. It's going to make it a little bit better for you. We don't see any of the activators or any of the circles. So those are going to be cards that you have to draw as RXX if you want to win this game.
Do you think the Priest would actually play the Dude right now? It does deny like certain cards too, but I think it's a bit too early.
I think on the coin, you play it on turn before your opponent's turn 3, because they can coin out that Tomb Pillager, which you're going to have such a hard time dealing with.
Yeah.
It's going to put them a turn ahead. Oh, we do not see the light shell burn you.
Yeah,
that's my favorite when you're playing Priest.
Yeah, I love it too. Yeah. I play Priest quite a bit, and I'll always love doing that. Actually put a little bit of tilt into your opponent.
Exactly.
Potentially.
I've been told today, I was BM'd and I said, why did you BM? My friend BM'd me and said, tilt, my friend.
Yeah, tilt. So the Doomsayer is played exactly as you said. Yeah, pretty nice turn to play it.
Yeah. Denying that coin Tomb Pillager.
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, it doesn't do anything. It just refills the coin.
Yeah,
drops your card.
Yeah.
If he was playing this off, maybe. But no.
Yeah. It's actually it actually denies the Violet Teacher, which is actually quite nice. Which one of the creatures had?
I can actually see the exactly. I can actually see the Deadly Poison being played here to counter the Shifting Shade.
Oh, that's true too. Which is interesting that he's not playing it at the moment. Yeah, but he can generate a lot of Violet Teacher kind of tokens at the moment too with the Deadly Poison coin as well. But he does not choose to use tokens at that
not played it last turn.
Yeah.
Very interesting. He's going to heal his own face with hero. Just think about how much stronger this play would have been if he just got to play Tomb Pillars.
Yeah. And we do see the Heresy being picked up right now, getting value out of it right away. Off the top. Let's see what he picks up. Shadow Man. Wow.
With Violet Teacher, and Earthen Ring, those are cards that you can get value off of, as well as SI Agent. And did we see? I don't think we saw the Master of Poisons.
No, we did not.
We haven't seen that yet.
We do see a lot of people starting to cut that card for a more value minion. Maybe for that Violet Teacher that we see in Real Terror's hand at the moment. Just to bring a little bit more consistency, because that 4-drop does have a weak body at 3-2, but it does generate you a lot of kind of possibility. But it really depends on the player.
Sometimes it just makes it more likely for you to get that conceal on your Gadget Sand, which is so necessary in this in every matchup. You need to conceal that guy to draw your whole deck, right? Which is the miracle of the Miracle Road.
Yeah. Do you know what I see as funny? I see that the Priest actually picked up the Auctioneer off the Shifting Shade.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cheap spells that RX62X actually has in his hand, like the Flash Heals, the Shadow Word Dead. So potentially this could be a miracle kind of Priest kind of thing.
And RXX, I believe, has 4 0-cost spells in his deck as well.
That is
he has
true
the 2 Circle of Healings, and he has the 2 Forbidden Summoning. Or shaping.
Shading.
Shading.
Yeah, shading. We do see him being picked up right now.
Yeah, Forbidden Shaping. That could just draw him a card, summon a Wisp. Or a Murloc, right? And then, but I think here, you might just trade the... So sorry about that, folks. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties. Just a little bit of problems with one of the streaming computers, but we're all good now. Alright, so we are seeing the Forbidden Shaping on 8, which is something we talked about a little bit earlier today. Oh, Tyrion! Wow! Wow! I came back just in time to see Tyrion being picked up with the shifting. That's beautiful.
Forbidden Shaping.
Real Terror is going to be able to deal with that very efficiently, though, with that sap. He's actually going to be able to deal with this whole board. He's going to build a board, sap the Tyrion, which is so sad for RXX. That's going to put him so far behind.
Definitely. We do see the sap coming down. But Tyrion, though, that could be one of the generators for this offense. Oh, he's going to backstab on the 1-1 to get an extra draw. It doesn't punish another the 1-1.
So we are seeing a little bit of playing a little bit quickly. You know, things are pretty intense. He might have just gotten excited about sapping that Tyrion, right?
Definitely.
He said, I need to do this turn. He does it first, and then realizes, I could have backstabbed it. You know, at least he didn't prep backstab.
Yeah. Like the last turn, the last turn.
This board is going to be a little bit overwhelming for RXX. How's he going to get himself out of this?
Yeah, it's actually really hard. We do see that activated evil in hand, but that's not much. That's take care of a lot of the 1-1s, but you definitely see people done this with really evil that return like
I think he could death here too. He could death the gadgets and excavated evil, or these flash heals are not irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's 10 health to your face.
Yeah. It can definitely last you a couple more turns in order to draw into another answer to cut back this one.
But the rogue has so many cards in his hand that how can you expect him not to have lethal next turn? Maybe you Darkshire plus to heal your face plus death plus flash your face to just get 10 health, go to 22. I know your opponent has 8 on board right now, but maybe they don't have the 14 10.
True.
We do see around I think 9, a little bit more with the deadly poison. So 1, 2 from deadly, 2 more from SI agent, and then 1 from dagger. So that's 5. Plus the blood mage downloads plus eviscerate. That's another 5. That's 10. Very interesting. He only needs 4 damage to win the game.
Which is not too hard for the rogue at the moment. So we're going to see the 2 pillars here coming out.
Playing the Tomb Pillager is just kind of it's pretty much saying, you know what, I'm gonna win this game. And you know, Real Terror has to be so happy about this. He's not getting reverse swept, or he has a chance to not get reverse swept. He's getting back this game. Sapping that Tyrion, I think, is really the play that is. If Real Terror does win, that is where the game switches in his favor.
Yeah, we do see that was a pretty huge kind of tempo swing, and it was the moment that Real Terror was actually looking for. So looking here, building a pretty heavy board that's really difficult for the priest and something like that. But as we said before, Excavated Evil doesn't completely this board. Unfortunately, the usual control priest does find Pyromancer as one of his staple kind of cards.
Is he running it?
No, I mean, he's not running it. I believe he cut them off. Maybe he's been a museum curator, possibly.
Museum curator into Blood Mage Thalnos, Excavated Evil.
Let's do it.
That's what I want to see here. I don't see any other play that doesn't lose you the game on the spot.
Yeah, but does he see it though?
We see him thinking a little bit. You know, he's looking through his options. He's saying, Tyrion, no, I can't play Tyrion, it might get sapped. Zod, what's died? I just die on board. Yeah. Excavated Evil, he still has 8 on board.
Yeah.
I'm at 14. I should maybe Excavated Evil plus heal face, flash heal face, gets him to 22. Maybe he doesn't die. Maybe he draws the second Excavated Evil. Yeah. These are a lot of maybes.
Yeah, there's a lot of maybes, but it definitely could be, because there is a possibility that
the thing is, you can do that play in conjunction with the Museum Curator. First thing you got to do is play the Museum Curator. Random effects first, that's how you got to play.
It's actually not too bad playing the Museum Curator, because you can fit in a lot of penalties.
He drops the Tyrion again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for RXX, it's going to get sapped again. He's at 19 health, 13 on board, more than enough in hand. He's going to be able to hero power, deadly poison, eviscerate for the game if he sees the lethal, which, a good player like Real Terror, I believe, will.
Yeah.
And this is going to end up 3-2 for
Real Terror, and he's gonna play RX 2XX again. And the best of 5, I believe.
Bracket reset. Oh, the bracket reset. Now it's a bracket reset.
So they both lost to each other. So now it's kind of the last thing, the final tiebreaker, the game to end all games. And we are going to take a quick break, just to fix some technical issues. We'll see you guys back in a couple minutes.